Now, how would we then construct a healthcare delivery system that maximizes value? What would that look like? And the answer, at least from our work so far, is that if we want to kind of crystallize it, we can really boil it all down into 6 fundamental strategic agendas. If we're going to move from where we are today to a high-value system, we've got to really drive these 6 fundamental transformations. So what are they? Number 1, we have to reorganize the actual delivery of care. We have to reorganize away from organizing around services and supply, and we have to organize around the patient and that patient's particular set of needs. This is the first and in some ways most fundamental transformation that is necessary. Really a fundamental shift in the organizational model. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. For acute care or specialty care, of course, when you have a defined medical problem, you organize around that problem. If you have diabetes, you organize around the diabetic. However, the medical problem in that case is not just narrowly defined, but it also includes the common comorbidities or complications that accompany that medical problem. So if we're going to organize around diabetic care, we don't just have endocrinologists. We have a whole team of people that are there in an organized way to address the various issues that many, many diabetics have in an integrated structure, rather than the historical model really organizing around the individual specialties, the individual services, the individual interventions, and have the patient kind of have to go through this complicated journey of dealing with all these different disparate organizations and people in getting their care. For primary and preventative care, the analog to the medical condition is the patient population. Right now, primary care is mission impossible. A primary care physician is asked to try to deal with any possible medical problem of any patient that comes in the door. That can't work. That can't be high value. When we think about primary care for the future, we've got to think about how to organize primary care into teams around particular patient populations with certain primary care needs. A primary care team that deals with healthy adults needs to have a different team and a different set of processes than a primary care team that's dealing with frail elderly or disabled elderly or people with 2 or 3 chronic diseases. Once again, the critical issue here is reorganizing away from the kind of generic model, the general purpose model. We have endocrinologists, radiologists, surgeons, all in their separate silos, to organizing around sets of patient needs, whether they are an existing medical problem that the patient already has, or whether they are the primary care needs of a certain group of patients with certain kinds of needs that are distinct and different.